Bobby Bowers says that when he was 14 years old, he saw a demon in his bedroom.
And he's approached me, I seen fire, and I just seen two eyes that were fiery. And I knew it was a demon, and he offered me a deal. If I serve him, he would give me power. He'd make me the vice president of a drug gang. But I had to commit a crime. I was too young to understand what to do, so I just gave in to the demon. I accepted the deal.
Bobby and a friend devised a plan to rob a local store.
I went into a place in Curtis Bay. Me and my friend, the president of the gang, I told him I wanted the money and not to move, and if he moved, I was going to kill him. As he moved, I pulled a crowbar out, and I hit him in the head, and he fell to the ground. As he tried to get back up, I told him, if you get up, I'm going to kill you. And he laid there, and blood was everywhere. Didn't know I could do that much damage, but this was the first time that I shed innocent blood. Right after that, I became the vice president of the drug gang.
Bobby sold drugs for the gang, and he also started to use them.
There's rules where you're not supposed to do the drugs and the product, because you can't think clearly when you're out there on the streets selling and you're using. We would do LSD, smoke PCP, cocaine, marijuana.
Bobby's crimes escalated, along with his drug abuse.
I have 6 or 7 attempted murders, 15 or 20 assaults, forgery, armed robbery, B&Es, arson charges. I mean, you name it, I did it. I thought nothing could kill me. You know what I mean? The demon gave me this power, and I believed that I was indestructible. I'd take 6, 7 hits of LSD at one time. I would take drugs to the extreme just to see if it would kill me. I took a needle and drawed up liquid PCP, stuck it in my arm to see if I could live. It froze my body up, but I lived.
As vice president of the gang, Bobby was also an enforcer.
I would have to go and knock on doors and say you have the money, and they don't have the money. Next time I seen them, it wasn't no conversation. I would take a bat or brass knuckles or a weapon and just do what I had to do.
One night, after doing cocaine and committing a terrible assault, Bobby left the crime scene, but this time in fear of being caught.
I went outside, got in my truck, I seen I had blood everywhere on me. Pulled over the side of the road and washed my hands and made a phone call. And I told my sister, I said, I can't believe what I just did. I became real bitter, and it just made me sink even into a darker world. And I was ready to take 3 or 4 people's life at that time. And then I became Maryland's Most Wanted. TV, my face was all over the cameras, and I would flee from state to state. I'd go to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, New York. And then when I came back to Baltimore, I think I was tired of running.
The authorities finally caught up with Bobby.
The one cop grabbed me and rushed me and put me in a cop car. And they flew me, drove away instantly from the scene. And I had a hood on my head. And he looked back and asked me, was I okay? And I said, why would you ask me if I'm okay? I'm a monster. He said, I just want to let you know I'm a Christian. And I got you out of there because some people would like to take your life. And that showed me at that point that God had his hand over me. And I started crying in a cop car because I didn't think I deserved grace. I didn't even deserve forgiveness. And it was deep.
He was sentenced to 15 years in prison.
It would take a prison sentence and God bringing me to my knees. And the scripture says all knees will bow one day. I was bowing my knees. I really didn't think nobody could make me bend my knees because I just thought I was indestructible and powerful and I could do what I want.
Bobby decided to tell God about his problems.
And when I did, I thought God would punish me. But he told me he loved me, and his love broke me.
Bobby renounced the deal he made with the devil years before.
I was looking for punishment, and he gave me forgiveness. And that changed my whole life. But for the first time, I was actually free. I found myself free in prison.
Bobby was a new Christian with a fresh love for God and other people. During his time in prison, he studied his Bible and led many fellow inmates to Christ. He also met Doug Cornelius, a prison chaplain.
I don't think I've ever met another person with a heart as big as Bob when it comes to wanting to help people. He was the only inmate I ever experienced that had the respect of all of the gangs in the prison, administrators and all of the gangs.
Today, Bobby loves to tell others about Jesus.
If I didn't have Christ in my life today, I'd be selling drugs, and I would be living on my old life. But I depend upon God to make it every day now. I wake up every day praying, God, please help me make it this day to please you. And that's where I believe my success comes from, my blessings, and the air I breathe. If God can forgive me, He can forgive anybody. My whole story is about God's love. So I hope that my life and my story can give hope to somebody that they can be forgiven and live a life, no matter what it comes from, that God can forgive them.